Hi, this is Brenda with WorkShopScraps by Brenda, and today I'm going to show you how I clean my Cricut mats before I recondition them. And this is a regular Cricut mat, and I use it for hard, things that are hard to stick to the mat, such as thick fabric, or thick chipboard. Something I have to cut over and over again to get a deep cut. I use this mat, and I labeled it super sticky with Eileen's Tack It Over Again, and I use this straight from the bottle. I don't dilute it, but this one still has a little tack, as you see, but it's not a smooth surface because I've had fabric on here and just all kinds of stuff, vinyl. And I've used this mat for at least 2 years, because you can still see the imprint of these apples that I did 1 year for Teachers Appreciation. So when that was a thick, was a cover stock. It was like those covers you get at the office supply store for when you're making manuals or the booklets. They have these thick cardboard kind of poster board kind of covers, and I also can cut poster board on here. So what I do initially is I use the Goo Gone, and there is goof off. It smells strong. It works too. It smells stronger. I like this better, so this is what I buy. And what I used to do in the past is when I open it, I would take this cover off, and then my Goo Gone would spill everywhere, and I have to be very careful how I applied it. So now I've learned, and I think they come with a little peel off tab here, so you have a tiny little hole. But if it doesn't, and I do this with a lot of my solutions or liquids that I don't want to pour a lot at one time, I poke a hole in it, okay? And so I'm just going to squirt a little on the board, just a little bit. And then I take a sponge brush and I just make sure that the adhesive remover is spread evenly over the mat. And I could still continue using this mat for a while. It just looks so grungy, and I'm in the process of trying to find ways to keep my scrap room clean. So I'm going to come back to you when this is all soaked and let you see what it looks like and how I clean it. Bye. Okay, I'm back, and this is me. This is the process in the middle. Well, I've started scraping this side. Really haven't started scraping that side, and cleaned it up a little bit because it's kind of gross looking. And I'm going to just kind of show you how easy it is. And I use just one of these old gift cards and coupons. What is this? Airtran, Air Card. Just different cards that I would throw away that you get in the mail. Some are thicker than others. I like the very thin ones because they get up under the adhesive really well. But the thicker ones, you can put a little bit more force behind them, and they don't bend like this. Is at an angle. It gets kind of noisy, and you want to scrape it. And this is what it looks like when it scrapes. And you might want to wear gloves so you don't mess up your manicure, but it's very easy. And I'm going to do this maybe 2 more times, and then clean it in the sink with maybe soap and water. I might get crazy and do soft scrub, mild abrasive cleaner, just because I'm like that. You don't have to. You can put adhesive on top of adhesive if you like, but whatever works for you. But as you see, it's kind of gunky looking, so that's why I cleaned it all up before I came back to the video. So the next time you see me, I will be done with this process and ready to recondition it. That's it. Thanks. Bye. Okay, everyone. I'm back. And this is my clean mat. And this is as clean as I can get it. And It's pretty smooth, not sticky. I've scraped all the adhesive removal and the old adhesive off, and then I actually used some Comet or Ajax with bleach and scrubbed it with a little nail brush and rinsed it and let it air dry, so it's good and ready. So for this super sticky mat, I'm going to use it full strength. I have a new bottle of this Eileen Tack It Over and Over. Hope I opened it. Yeah, I did. Had to cut the top off. Okay, so new bottle, and I'm just gonna kind of go along the perimeter a little bit, really quickly, and just kind of like you're gluing, but just as if you were gluing something. And you can mask off the edges if you like, which, you know, if you don't want sticky stuff in the wrong spot. I'm not doing that. I spent all my extra time getting all the adhesive off, and this works for me. And then once you get it on, you're going to let it air dry, and it sticks over and over and over again. And because I'm doing this full strength, I'm only going to use this for things that can take the tact, the stickiness of this mat, like fabric. And I know in the commercials and YouTube, when it tells you to cut fabric on your machines, they're usually referring to like cotton fabric. Well, I cut more than cotton, so. And sometimes I use the iron-on heat and bond, and sometimes I stiffen my fabrics with spray starch, and sometimes, depending on what it is, I cut it straight from the mat. So this works out really well for me. Just need a little bit more here. I'm lifting it up so I can actually see the sections that have glue and that don't have glue. And I'm back with my finished reconditioned Cricut mat, and it's dry and it's sticky. And this will be my super sticky mat because I'm going to use it for fabric and other items that are really heavy and kind of hard to cut through, that I might have to cut several times. So I'm going to label this as super sticky, and eventually it won't be as sticky, and then I can use it for paper or whatever. And I use this method when my mats don't stick anymore. When I've used the baby wipes and all the stuff you do with your new mats, they don't stick anymore, and I try to get the most out of my mat. So if you can remember from the previous video how it didn't stick and it was all grungy, and I cleaned it and used full strength, that's what that shine is. It's the Eileen's Tack It Over and Over temporary hold, great for appliques, trims, ribbons, and more. Alright, so down, stuck. I mean stuck. So if you want to restick your mats, that's what you want to stick it with. And this is full strength. The other ones aren't as sticky. They are sticky enough for paper, so your paper doesn't rip, but it adheres well down to the mat. And this mat has been well used. Hi, this is Brenda with WorkShopScraps by Brenda, and today I'm just showing how I restick my Cricut mats. And I know there are lots of YouTube videos, and I've watched a lot of them, but this is, to me, my favorite and most economical. I do like using the Zig 2-way glue stick adhesive. However, I buy the wide stick to put here on my mat, and it dries up before I can really get good use out of it. So it dries up, and so I've tried the Easy Tack spray, and I use that kind of if I need something right quick and it's not sticking. I'll just kind of spritz it a little bit on my mat and stick down my paper, cut it out, pull the item up. But it's supposed to be repositional, but it dries and doesn't work out well for me on a long-term basis. But what I found works best for me is the Eileen's Tack It Over and Over spray. This is it. Not spray, glue. Are they calling it glue? Adhesive. I don't know. I use it. And it's made for temporary hold for great appliques, trims, ribbons, and more. And
When I first started using it, I used it full strength because I used it to cut like fabric on my Cricut, burlap, thick canvases, because it really sticks down. But then the problem you have is when you try to pull your item up, if you don't do it like right away, it kind of tears it. But I'm just following directions from YouTube, which is 50%, 50-50 water and the Eileen Tack It Over Again. And I just use this little container that came with in the paint department or something. And I just kind of squirt it out of the bottom until I get like maybe 1/8 of an inch coverage on the bottom. And then I estimate how much water. Not even measuring. I'm just kind of looking to see where it is, and I'm going to go at what I consider like double the height, and that's probably it. That's all I pour. Then I take this and I mix it. Just stir it and mix it. And I try to only mix up what I use so I don't have any excess. So that looks good. And it's pretty watery. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty watery. And I'm just going to paint, like painting the lines. And not even a thick coat. And let it dry. Sit aside and let it dry. You want to make sure your mat is fairly clean. But I have a workaround around that too. This mat has a little glitter on it. Like that's all I used for that one mat, and it's gonna dry clear. And I have this much left over. Don't think it's enough to really stick another mat. I may have more than I need on here, so I'm gonna kind of get some of this up. See, maybe I can make one that I already have more sticky. I have lots of Cricut mats, and I actually use them in my Cricut and my Silhouette. And I've started back using my Cricut Imagine, sorta, kinda. And these are the only mats that it uses. So, and I only have really 2 good ones, Cricut Imagine mats, and then I've got one that's horrible that I can't even use in the machine because it's so chipped along the edges. Then I have this one that has this teeny chip here, but I just feed it the other way and it does fine. So just going to sit that to the side and let it dry, and then I'll come back once it's dry so you can see how sticky it is. Thank you. Bye. Okay, it's me again. I actually have another regular Cricut mat that does not stick. Period. I mean, it barely has any adhesive qualities. And what I use these mats for when they don't stick, if I have a very intricate cut, I find that I could take down the corners of my paper, brayer it a little bit, but then take down the corners of the paper with just masking tape or clear tape, and decrease my pressure a little bit, or decrease my speed a little bit in my cutter, and then it cuts it out well. And then when it's time to take it off, I don't tear the cut. So they all have their purposes, but I just have this little bit left. Let's see if you can. I don't even know if you can. It's just a little bit, but the brush is saturated. So I'm going to go with this brush. Very easy. I don't even mask the edges. I couldn't say because I'm so good, but that's not it. I don't mask the edges because I just don't. I use that tape for something else. See, it's pretty wet, this brush is, and it doesn't look like much, but really that's all you need. And that Eileen's Tack It Over Again. Tack it over and over. It lasts a long time, and I try to keep it. That's it. So I'm going to set that to the side too. That's mat number 2. So I got one, let's see, Cricut Imagine mat, and then one regular Cricut mat. We'll see how that does. Bye. Bye. Hi, this is Brenda with WorkShopScraps by Brenda, and I'm back with my Cricut mat that I reconditioned. That's the word. Reconditioned with the Eileen Tack It Over temporary fabric adhesive. And on the previous video I showed how it didn't stick at all, and this is the Imagine mat. It has a little shine to it, but as you see, if I put my hands on it, it sticks, and I shake it and won't come off, and I love it. It's perfect. And that's with a 50 50-50 mix of water and this adhesive. So I did this mat, and I only use a little bit. I did had a little left over, and I don't know if I did this one on camera or not, but I found another mat, and see, stuck it. And then I have the regular Cricut mat that I just used with my brush. It's a very light tack because it's a light tack. So if I have like a thin material or a vellum or something like with an intricate cut, it'll really come off of this mat. And I just put my clear plastic films that came with the mat on them. And then also while I was waiting for these to dry, I actually did a 12 by 24 inch mat. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Please feel free to leave a comment. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.